Welcome to Leawood 360, City Voices, Community Stories, Full Circle Leawood. I'm Beth Brittenstein, Leawood Strategic Communications Director and your host. Each month, we take you behind the scenes of the people, programs, and policies shaping life in Leawood, Kansas. From local leaders to passionate residents, we're talking with the voices who make this community thrive and bringing it all full circle. Hi, I'm Beth Brittenstein, and welcome to Leawood 360. It's our inaugural episode, so let's get right into it. It's Military Appreciation Month, and today we're joined by April Bishop, who currently serves as the chair of the Historic Commission, and Colonel Ron Wright, a local veteran who has also served in a few different roles in our community. They're here to talk about their involvement in the planned Leawood Veterans Memorial Plaza to be constructed in front of City Hall. This project's being shaped through efforts of a Veterans Memorial Group composed of Leawood residents, local veterans, members of the Leawood Foundation, and past and present members of organizations rooted in Leawood, such as the city's Historic Commission. The project is being privately funded through a capital campaign led by the Leawood Foundation. So first, if I could ask you to introduce yourselves to our listeners, how did you come to be involved here in Leawood? And what are your current roles within the community that led you to this project? April, why don't you go first?
It began for me as a volunteer with the historic Oxford Schoolhouse. And the schoolhouse had not yet opened to the public when we started to gather a group of docents that would work in the schoolhouse and write the programming and all the marketing materials for the schoolhouse. And shortly after that, I became an employee with the city and worked here for 16 years, and now I'm back to being a volunteer.
Well, thanks for so many years of service to our city, April. And if you haven't been out to the Oxford Schoolhouse, please make a visit out there. It's a really fantastic opportunity. And turning it over to you, Colonel Wright, tell us a little bit about how you became involved in this project and in the Leawood community.
It's my pleasure, and it's a real pleasure to be here with you this morning. I'm a retired colonel, United States Army, and the chairman of the Leawood Foundation, Alice Hawk, invited me to be on this ad hoc committee because of my military association.
Well, thank you first and foremost for your service, Colonel Wright, and we're very glad you're part of this project. And for you, April, can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired the idea to build a Veterans Memorial?
It all began with Gary Swanson, who at the time was serving on Park Board. And Gary spent a lot of years working with veterans. So after he retired, he started interviewing, as part of the Smithsonian's National Project, veterans mostly from World War II. Between 2001 and 2013, he conducted 1,067 interviews. And of those, 111 veterans lived in Leawood. Gary had always been interested in having a veterans memorial here in Leawood. There are others around the county, but not here in Leawood, and he felt that that was an oversight. So he had talked to Chris Claxton, the director of Parks, Recreation, and Arts, and she forwarded him on to the Historic Commission and also the Leawood Foundation.
And Colonel Wright, as a veteran, what does this idea of a Veterans Memorial Plaza at Leawood City Hall mean to you?
I am retired United States Army, Dental Corps, joined the Army in 1972 right out of dental school. My first assignment was Heidelberg, Germany. I spent 3 years there active duty. Returned in 1975 and joined the reserves and stayed in the reserves for another 27 years, retiring in 2001. 7 years after retirement in 2008, the Department of Defense called me and asked me if I would volunteer due to a shortage of dentists to volunteer for a short tour in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served in Iraq for a short tour. First half I was at Talil Air Force Base south of Baghdad, but it was the second half that was the most interesting. I served at Camp Bucca, which is in southern Iraq, near the Kuwaiti border, where at that time Camp Bucca was the theater's prisoner of war camp. 2 other dentists and myself gave dental support to nearly 18,000 prisoners of war. So I've had quite a military experience, and it goes without saying that the fact that my city of Leawood wants to build a memorial really strikes at my heart. And I'm thrilled beyond words and most proud.
And Colonel Wright, maybe could you speak to what you hope for folks who come out to the memorial, especially maybe our younger folks? What do you hope they experience when they visit the Veterans Memorial Plaza?
To me, this Veterans Memorial is a symbol of recognition and appreciation. And I'm speaking for myself, and I feel like all veterans, we get certain benefits for being in the military, but we want to be recognized for that. And that's precisely what this Veterans Memorial will do, is give recognition to the men and women who have donned this uniform and served their country and protected the freedoms and liberties that we do share. And how soon we forget that sometimes. And this will be another reminder of that.
I would like to add to that and say that the committee, in selecting a location for the memorial, really wanted it next to one of our civic buildings because we felt that the education piece was important, that children or even adults would be able to come and learn not only the history of veterans, but how they helped build our community.
That's a great point. And April, paint a picture for us. What will the memorial look like once it's completed?
We are fortunate to be able to take advantage of some of Leawood's infrastructure, and we will be building it along the back wall of the flagpole area right in front of City Hall. So that area will have black granite added, and there will be bronze medallions of each of the branches of the military. And then on either side of that, on the courtyard level, which is down about 3 steps, there will be pillars on each side. One will say, in honor of all who served, and then the other side will have the names of all the donors at a $1,000 level or above will be etched into the granite and there for perpetuity.
Sounds like it's going to be quite stunning to look at when it is all completed. And you mentioned, of course, donations. Talk a little bit about how people can get involved and donate to be a part of this, as you said, long-lasting memorial.
Well, it's really simple. We've created a website so you can make a donation online. You can send a check to the Leawood Foundation. You can wire transfer money directly from your IRA. So we make it as easy as possible for everyone. This is a great opportunity for someone to honor maybe a relative. They can have their name placed on the memorial rather than your own name.
That's great. What a great way to honor a loved one. And before I forget, I do want to mention that this Saturday, May 17th at 9:30 a.m. at City Hall, we are celebrating Armed Forces Day with an event at City Hall. But this also doubles as the Veterans Memorial Campaign kickoff. So come join us for this family-friendly event this Saturday. And I do want to mention also that you can visit LeawoodVeteransMemorial.org for more campaign information about the Armed Forces Day event, and, of course, links for ways to donate. And Colonel Wright, I wanted to ask you, what would you say to your fellow veterans who are maybe listening right now who may want to be involved in this project?
I would say they're most welcome to come to our event, certainly, and participate, not only just being there in presence, but of course bring their checkbook with them. We would appreciate any funding they would do, because this project is going to be a pretty expensive one. And we've got a good start on seed money, but of course we're a long ways from our goal. And we would appreciate their attending, because I feel this represents them as much as it does me. For our Vietnam veterans, we are bringing in a Huey helicopter. And the helicopter has a provenance of being in Vietnam. We're not going to be flying it, of course, but it will be a visual, certainly, for them, as well as bring your children and let them see what you heard and saw a lot of in Vietnam, so it'll be present.
Well, that will be quite a visual indeed, and I'm sure a hit with the kids out there as well. Well, is there anything else in general about the project that either of you would like to share before we wrap up?
I do. The Leawood Historic Commission was asked to spearhead the project, but we went about it in ways of making the most sense for the people in the community. So we reached out to specific people that are not only veterans, but involved with the local civic groups. So we are represented by the Lions Club, the Rotary, the Welcomers, the Garden Club. We wanted as many people involved as possible. And of course, there are local chapters of the DAR that are involved. We want to be able to honor everyone that has served, not just a specific war, not fallen soldiers, but everybody from the Revolutionary War up to current times and in perpetuity. So this is everybody gets honored. Even if you serve during a time of peace, we want to honor those veterans also.
Well, thank you so much for adding that, April. And to wrap things up, I do want to ask both of you a question that I'd like to ask all of our guests moving forward on Leawood 360. What is a hidden gem in Leawood that you want to share?
Definitely Ironwoods Park. It's a beautiful park, but people drive right past it and don't even know that they've gone by. The width of the park at the street is just the driveway size, and so unfortunately, people miss it.
So go visit April at Ironwoods Park. It is a beautiful tucked away space.
Yes, it's wonderful.
And for you?
Leawood, for me, is a first-class city. And you asked me if there are hidden gems. Quite frankly, I can't think of any right now because it's been fulfilled. I couldn't add anything to my city that makes it any more first class.
You know, I have to agree, and I would say that's a really great way to wrap it up. Thank you both for being our first guests on Leawood 360. I want to mention again the website. It's leawoodveteransmemorial.org, all one word, leawoodveteransmemorial.org, for all the information on how you can donate, more information about the event on Saturday. Thank you both for being here.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce you to a segment we call Ask 360. Do you have a question about how the city works, or want to settle a neighborhood debate, or maybe you just want to say hi? Well, we're asking you to take the mic for Ask 360. Head over to leawood.org/podcast, and you could leave us a voice message. And you might just hear yourself back on an upcoming episode of Leawood 360, and we could answer your question on the podcast. And just to give you a preview of what this might sound like, I've asked our incredible marketing and digital content specialist, Sam, to give us a little sample.
Hi, I was wondering if there was like a magazine or something that has, I don't know, city news, recreational programs. Maybe the title is like a fancy alliteration. Does the city have anything like that?
What an excellent question, Sam. I think you're talking about Leawood Loop, our new resident magazine and recreation guide. All Leawood residents get this in the mail, so keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't seen Leawood Loop yet, you'll be getting another issue ahead of our fall programming. So keep your eyes peeled for our new city magazine that also has all the great parks programs that you're used to getting in your recreation guide. It's all been wrapped into one publication that comes to you twice a year. And thanks, Sam, for the not at all self-promoting question that you asked. We appreciate it. And now it's time for the Roundout, where we give you 4 pieces of city news you can use. First up, pool season is almost upon us. The Leawood Aquatic Center is open May 24th for the season. Season passes could be purchased online now. All members need a new membership card with an updated photo plus a new key fob pass. You can go to webtrack.leawood.org. That's webtrac.leawood.org for more information. Number 2, do you follow us on social media? Why not? What are you even doing if you're not following us on social media? Head over to leawood.org/communications for a full list of our handles on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We are also now on Nextdoor. We're on social media. You're on social media. Let's hang out. Number 3, hate construction? Who doesn't? But we are looking forward to the end product on Tomahawk Creek Parkway. Progress is well underway, and if you want to follow progress, visit leawood.org/tomahawk for updates as work continues on this project that is going to address roadway and floodplain challenges, improve traffic flow, enrich pedestrian and cyclist experiences, and doing it all while focusing on sustainability and safety. Construction continues through the end of 2025, but hang in there. It's going to be great when it's all wrapped up. And last but certainly not least, Leawood has officially kicked off the budgeting process for 2026. The full 2026 budget process calendar, including dates of public hearings, can be found on our website at leawood.org/budget. So get involved in the conversation. And that's the Roundout. And that does it for Leawood 360 Episode 1. Thank you all for listening to our first episode. We hope that you'll check us out every month. You can go to leawood.org/podcast to keep up with the latest. I'm Beth Brittenstein, Strategic Communications Director for the City of Leawood. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.